you have it, you have it, you have it. Do you have it too fast? Do you have it too fast? One moment, please. One moment, one moment.
Others, I speak with a passion that goes unheard. They you because you are a leader, and perhaps with others, I speak with a passion.
Wow.
We're back.
Holy moly. Episode 8. Raid buff.
Episode 8, back from the misty darkness of the ether.
Yeah, we clawed our way back in.
Claude is a good way to explain it. I almost felt like we were gone so long we couldn't really say that we do a podcast anymore because we didn't do
yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I was wondering if we were going to get the motivation to start it up again. Not the motivation, but
kind of the motivation.
Yeah,
if we're just like, you know what, we haven't done it so long now, let's just keep not doing it.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought about, remember when we went to see if Raid Buff podcast was a thing on YouTube? And there is one.
Yeah, that
I think they ended at 7 episodes. And I'm like, no, we're going to repeat the past.
There's some kind of curse. Well, I mean, not, because now we've gotten past it.
Yeah.
Oh.
If that was the case, I don't know if that truly was 7. That's what I had in my mind, though.
Okay.
But yeah, we are doing it. You know, it's interesting, though, because this podcast began as kind of a tandem thing while we're developing Vampire Janitor.
Mm-hmm.
And, but we didn't stop developing Vampire Janitor during that time. It hasn't been the most steady progress, but we were working on it way more than the podcast. So
yeah, way more, I would say. But one is just hey, you pop right in, you start getting to work. The other one is okay, let us both sit down, which requires the kid has to be managed.
Yeah.
So the barrier for entry is so much lower to just working on the game.
So true. We got to have the circumstances right. Kids got to be sleeping or distracted.
Or in daycare.
We got to be not exhausted.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a big one.
That's the big one. And I think that's probably the main one that stopped us from doing this for a while.
We were sick for, I would say, a healthy percentage of the time since we recorded last time.
I'm not sure when that was, but we can just rewind and kind of fill in why we haven't been recording.
Yeah, which is...
First, it was sick. Literally, we got sick at the beginning of the year, and we were sick for 3 weeks. And then we got healthy briefly, and then we got sick again in February.
It's like Groundhog's Day of illness.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So with all that, and then the child, he's going through some sort of sleep thing.
Regression.
So we have not really had a normal schedule for 2 months.
A normal schedule, but worse is we aren't super schedule-y people, but not having sleep makes the world's tilted sideways kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everything sucks a little more.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. So, 3 months down the line, Here we are, almost at the beginning of March, and ready to start it all back up again.
Yeah. To maintain sanity, we have kept gaming. That's at least one thing, is when we had some free time and we could game, we were playing games. Yeah,
and I think that's kind of been a coping thing for me with the trials and tribulations of the child having such a hard time and us being so sleep deprived.
Yeah.
When he naps, I do want to just relax and game rather than work on a podcast. So you're getting real life trials and tribulations while trying to build a YouTube presence and a game studio. Yeah. So enjoy the journey, right? It's a very honest game dev blog. Yeah. And so, we've been gaming. What have you been up to?
up to, I guess. Like I said the same thing at work though, honestly, when they're like, oh, what's everyone been up to? And I'm like, I beat Pokemon Violet because that's the only thing I really have been up to in my personal and gaming life. Yeah. Fantastic game, but I really like the original Pokemon games, so that's probably why I like that Pokemon game so much. But I was like, this was kind of before our sleep troubles that we have right now, because at that time I did stay up way later than I should have on many occasions on the Switch playing Violet.
Yeah. I was proud of you, though. You were so into it.
Oh, man.
You told me that you were into Pokemon a while ago.
Yeah, like it was my thing.
It's never been, like, tested, and that was just like a holy moly, you get into Pokemon.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
I vividly remember, like, I didn't live that far from my school, so it wasn't like, oh man, I won't make it, but like I really had to be on it to make it in time and like have all of my snacks and everything around me for getting out of school and then getting home at 4:00 with everything that I want to be ready to watch Pokemon on TV at that time.
Yeah.
It was a great time, and I loved every second of it.
I saw Pokemon on TV and I was like, flip channel.
Rude. But you watch Digimon or Beyblade or... Nah?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Just Yu-Gi-Oh!
If we're talking like that kind of genre, yeah.
But I don't even know when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on.
I don't know. I don't remember those. It was just all sporadic. Because if it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh!, I was watching SpongeBob or Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, the classics.
Did you watch any like of the live action shows like iCarly?
Yeah, sometimes. Drake and Josh. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Ned's Declassified Survival Guide.
Yeah.
Those were great. We're showing our age here.
Those are great shows. I don't care. So that's what I've been up to gaming wise. I've played Red Dead 2 again a little bit,
just
here
barely,
and there. But that was like on the weekends when I had the rarest of moments of free time.
Played a little WoW.
Playing WoW. Got subscription restarted after how many months did we take a break for? 2 months?
You?
Me?
You barely played when we got you War Within when it was released.
Yeah. So how long was that? 2 or 3 months?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Some months.
October.
And then played a little and then took another break to focus on other things. Then got back into WoW and made it to max level, and then we decided to switch factions. So now I'm like leveling again, and you've already...
Well, we found a major issue
major issue.
The Horde is terrible at Battlegrounds. Like, I started recording the standings of my games, and so on my Blood Elf Paladin, I was just trying to win one game to get a little bit of conquest so that I could get a new piece of gear.
One game.
It took 11 games. I went 0 for 10, and on the 11th game, we finally won by the skin of our teeth. It was ridiculous. I was like, there's no way the Horde could be this bad. So I did an experiment. I switched to Alliance, and we went 5-0.
Did you play 11 games?
I only played 5, but it was 5-0. Like, I don't need a whole lot more convincing.
Yeah.
And so, thus, the level 80 that you had gotten for the Horde is... obsolete. We're going to Alliance, man. I'm not going to waste my time losing. I'm all for the Horde. Yeah, like they're my favorite, but
our aspirations are primarily PvP.
They're all PvP. We just don't got the time to be losing like that, you know. So,
and do you believe that one person can change the tide of Battlegrounds like you can in other online games, or in BGs? Do you really need to like have multiple people on the same page and do it pretty well?
You gotta have a pretty decent team. I think there's a couple Battlegrounds like Warsong Gulch or something that, you know, only 10 players, one player makes a lot more of a difference. But if you're playing like Arathi Basin, Deepwind Gorge, all those larger team ones, like you need to be a little bit more like there's multiple objectives. You can't just like run around and conquer all of them. You got to have a little bit of
teamwork.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't work on the Horde apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, for gaming, that's about it, though.
Well, what about you? I know you've played other games besides just WoW.
I mean, yeah, I've been doing a ton of different games. I was a lot of Call of Duty earlier this year. I got tired of dying all the time. So I decided I was going to try to platinum Hogwarts Legacy on the PlayStation, and that's going pretty well. I think I'm like 75% done. And then been playing Persona 5 Royal. That's probably been my favorite game I've been playing. It's been very, because I've never played a game like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just drawing me in. It's very story-based, but you're just in this world, living this life. And you got this side of being a Persona user in this palaces is what they call it. It's like a separate reality. And then you got to manage your day-to-day life, your friends and your skills and your school and all that sort of stuff. So I just find it's a very interesting mix. Very intriguing to me.
I like when you play and I can hear the voice acting. It sounds like you're watching a TV show.
Yeah, that's good voice acting. It's also got a really good UI that's satisfying. So
nice. That's what I liked about Pokemon Violet.
Yeah, they do it well. I really love the feel of the Switch. They just got the aesthetic right. The button pressing, it's just all really well done.
Yeah. Though something to remember that you've complained about not for Pokemon Violet, but for Persona 5 that we should remember for Vampire Janitor is that you don't have a lot of opportunities to save the game, so you're stuck.
Yeah, when you're in it, you can only save in safe rooms or if you're just living your normal life. If you're in a story part, I went a whole hour without being able to save once. And I'm like, this is modern gaming. Why can't I just save whenever?
Yeah. For us,
for the Switch, you can just go to the home menu, but I have this thing where
you need to save.
I gotta save. I don't know if you're gonna quit my game for me.
Right. Well, because it could happen where you put it down, then I pick it up, then it's oh, you want to log out of the other person's thing? If you did, then they didn't save. It could be dastardly. And I don't know, whatever. I'm going to start my game. So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Outside of that, I've been trying to play more Witcher 3.
Another good one.
It's good. Yeah. It's good story. But I suck at the combat. I keep dying.
Is it
it's so simple because you just it's just dodging, and then if you're fighting right now, I'm currently at a save point where I'm dying by not drowners, but some fog creatures. Anyway, you get stuck in the fog, and you're getting hit by 3 fog creatures. And I'm trying to dodge, I'm just tapping dodge, but you gotta attack too, otherwise you're just gonna be dodging all day. And so I just get stuck in these modes where I just get hit a ton, and I'm like, dang it. So that one's a little harder. I'd be terrible at a Souls game, to be honest. I give up a lot. Way too easy. But yeah, those are the main ones I've been playing. And WoW, I don't really have a goal until you hit 80, so I've just been kind of chilling on there, making gold. So yeah.
Though those are the main ones you've been playing. How many games do you think new games have you gotten since the last time we recorded?
Purchased?
Yeah.
Well, I got Dragon's Dogma Arisen for the Switch because it was on sale for $5. I'm picking that up. Boy, oh boy. I don't know, because we got that Star Wars pack for the Switch too. Yes. And I was playing KOTOR for a while.
Yep.
I don't think I've bought a whole lot of games on Steam lately. I was really looking forward to Avowed, but the results, the reviews and stuff of it coming out haven't been as exciting as what I thought it would be. So I don't know if I'm willing to spend $70 on it. So that's on hold. But yeah, other than that, I just pick up some free games from Epic Games every once in a while, and I never play those, but we're just building the library.
Yeah. I thought the same thing about Avowed. I was pretty excited to play just a new game from Blizzard, or at least like in the Blizzard store, the Blizzard family of things. But the gameplay that we watched did not convince me that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
The early customization screens, like I could probably spend days just doing that and getting my character how I want them to look. But so I liked that part of the video, but then the gameplay after that, it didn't. What did I see one person say about it that I thought was like, oh yeah, that's pretty much how I feel, is like, it's not an RPG that's like you are changing things. It's kind of like on the rails, like a
you just kind of yeah. It's more like a guided experience. It's I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the thing was like a facade RPG. Not that wasn't the term, but like
pretty much that's
the illusion of an RPG.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's kind of why I was hoping it would be like kind of like a Skyrim or Oblivion experience. I love first-person like RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty hopeful too because I think the people who developed Fallout New Vegas were working on it. So it just maybe fell short. It's got decent reviews on Steam. That's the confusing part. But the thing is, if you look deeper into the reviews, a lot of them say this is a good game, but just not like a free world, open world, like you're going to make a huge difference. Like it's like a guided journey.
The Avowed subreddit goes crazy locking posts all the time now because of how contentious it is.
Yeah.
Like everything devolves into fighting, so like every post gets locked now.
Wow. Yeah, so that's why I am skeptical picking it up. I would probably buy it if it went on sale for like $30, but a whole $70.
That's a huge sale that they have to.
That's kind of what happened to Starfield, right?
Yeah,
like Starfield dropped. It met with worse reviews than Avowed is, and it has a worse rating on Steam. And it went on sale pretty quickly for like $40, like not too long after that. I never picked it up.
They had to refund people for the game, so
yeah. And hey, that Cyberpunk is a good redemption story. They came back and they fixed it, and it's a great game now. So maybe that'll happen for Starfield and Avowed.
I would just like to see them add more things, especially around the city and especially around like the gameplay. I want the world to be bigger, as in like I want my actions to be bigger in the world, maybe instead of the world being bigger.
The standards are pretty high for these really hyped up AAA games. I don't know if Avowed is AAA, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say so.
Anyway, but yeah, the stakes are really, really high, especially when like 2 years ago, Baldur's Gate 3 just like stunned the world with like, this is like $70 and you get this gigantic game. So intricate. And so, yeah, I think the standard's a little bit higher now for those. Which I guess they should be. We're the consumers who want a good product.
You didn't finish Baldur's Gate, though.
I've been thinking about. That's one game I do want to finish at some point. I logged 50 hours into it, but I'm still only on Act 2. It's a lot.
It's a big game. You did say that you stalled out on it, though, but I thought maybe it's just like not super interesting anymore.
I think just Act 2 isn't that interesting to me. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, I would say, to try to figure some stuff out. But yeah. So that one's on the back burner. I've been enjoying Persona the most, so I'll probably just keep playing that.
Yeah, I need to complete my Pokédex, so probably keep working on that when I have free time.
Speaking of working on, I guess we should update the game Vampire Janitor. That's usually what we start our podcast with.
I wish that there was we could do a visual podcast. Obviously, it's just called YouTube video. But I wish that we could beam an image into people's minds of what the game looks like now, because it's so much like a game.
It's a bit more transformed. I've been really trying to hone in on getting the first level completed, and I made more assets. We decided to stay with pixel art and just real simple versions of pixel art, and just thinking of it as a simple thing has helped. So yeah, I mean, I've got some walking animation. I've got mopping animation. There's a score now. Like, it's coming together. You're making sound assets.
Yes.
So I think
pretty exciting. There's just those little things like the rhythm of the mop.
The
like
rhythm
it just
of,
like makes it like
the
a
rhythm
little,
of the mop.
It just makes it look like a little video game character when he's doing that. Like, it looks great.
Yeah, and it's just the beginning. I think if I focus on the game, I could probably get a level 1 prototype completely done in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, I think though the hard part will be like the background music, and then all the animations, because I want to have some more interesting, like maybe like a cinematic sort, not like a full cinematic, but like, you know, some instances that happen that the player's not controlling, you know, like a vampire coming in and like doing something, you know, which sounds kind of tough to animate. But if I keep it simple, this is our first game after all, then we could do it. So, but what do I promise that in 2 weeks I'm going to have the prototype done? No,
but
things get in the way.
Like, that's like that goal that you set for yourself that like pushes you to really.
I always impress myself with how much I get done when I actually sit down and do it. So I just need to choose to sit down and do it more.
Yeah.
So.
But there's a lot of distractions in the world.
Oh yeah. It's been tough because I've been trying to develop more, but the best time for me to do that is at the gym. So I've been kind of giving up gym, like workout time to do that.
Yeah.
Plus I've just been less motivated to work out. I don't know, maybe it's just being tired. So the weight loss journey is also stalled for the moment, but yeah.
Stalled, but like you're not digging yourself a new hole, at least.
Yeah, except for tonight, I'm really feeling some Chinese takeout.
From where, though?
I found a mom and pop shop around here that I was going to show you to see if you were interested.
I'm down.
Perhaps.
Roshi, because
either that or P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's, or have you heard of Payway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
It's like a red and yellow logo.
I think it's like red and black.
Oh, okay.
And white, maybe. But
right, maybe I'm thinking something else.
It's pretty much
maybe I'm thinking Cafe Yum.
Cafe Yum. That's a place I've heard of.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like ring a bell. But I'll look and see if there's a Payway. That would be an even faster way to get Chinese food than P.F. Chang's. But not as fast as Panda Express, I'll say.
I mean, at the very least, we could go to Panda.
At the very least.
Yeah.
But hey,
anyway, the weight loss journey. I'm not like
so sidetracked by food.
I'm not like reverting or anything. I just am maintaining right now. So
yeah, I'm reverting.
No.
I'm just not. I'm staying the same. Stay the same through it all. I guess it's not a terrible thing.
No. Yeah. What else do we got going on? Have we been watching anything? You've been really into the show True Blood.
Oh my!
That show's unhinged.
Goodness, I've been into True Blood. I thought to myself one day, I'm tired of watching anything with ads. So what's a platform that we like have the version that we don't have ads? Because now that we have Netflix with ads, I spend a little bit less time on Netflix than I used to. So I was like, oh, HBO. What are some HBO shows? There's a bunch of them. There's probably some I haven't seen that are pretty good. True Blood. we're making Vampire Janitor. I was like, oh, this is apropos. This
It's kind of like
task.
R&D.
Yeah, exactly. So,
however, I thought you watched True Blood.
I've seen some episodes. Like, I've had friends that liked it. So I've seen some episodes, and I like know certain plots of certain storylines because of how much they loved it. But, you know, I'm a person that feels like there's no such thing as a spoiler for me because no matter how much you tell me about it, I'm still going to enjoy the execution, which is like how it all comes together.
You can't get yourself bogged down with like...
Yeah, I mean, like...
Because you couldn't enjoy any video game or movie or source of entertainment if you were like, I know how this ends, so, you know, I'm not going to even bother. But like that's
it's a sad way to live, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And like I just truly do enjoy the execution of it all. Even if I like know the major plot points of what's going to happen, I still like to see how they do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the good part.
Like if you go to a play and it's like A Christmas Carol is probably the last play I went to like years ago.
Nice.
You know exactly what's going to happen in that story. We've heard it a million times, but like watching it on stage and like the actors, the set, all of it come together, it's like, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. That's why there's so many versions of the Robin Hood, because people like that story.
Batman, Spider-Man.
Batman. Oof.
Oof.
Though I would have liked to watch Spider-Man, the new movie.
The newest one?
The newest one. Not Far From Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
Not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, what the heck? Like,
that kind of ruined my day that day.
They have like almost all Marvel movies that I can think of, except No Way Home.
I'm pretty sure Deadpool, the newest Deadpool, is on Disney Plus, which is newer than that movie.
That movie's like 3 years old at this point.
Does Disney not own that Spider-Man movie?
They have to, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly,
it's part of the franchise.
Yeah, I know
maybe
that
they don't
allow it, but it's like Sony owns that one.
Maybe they don't fully because they had Sony characters in it.
That's the only thing that I can think, but I just don't know, because I know that a lot of people do know this and they're probably screaming at their phones or something right now because they know it so well. But like, that's just not something you and I spend a lot of time thinking about. It's like, oh, like, who owns this contractual IP character?
You remember back in the day when you wanted to watch something and you had to like go rent it or seek it out or buy it? You remember those days? You had to get the disc.
Yeah.
Here we are complaining about one specific movie not being on a platform where we have access to thousands of movies at our fingertips.
Well, and we're talking about...
But the question is, why is that one not there?
It's just because the other ones are on there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're still trying to make some money off of people renting or buying it. But that just like put a damper on my day of watching. But it's one of the things that led me to True Blood.
Yeah.
And which is insane.
That show's nuts. They have all the craziness.
Yeah, but there are some things about the vampires that I like. Like, the older the vampire, the stronger the vampire is. So there's like some of the lore that's in there. But it's pretty much just like sexual content for like 39 minutes and then like a story for 6 minutes most of the time.
They figure out how to fit sex into every single episode multiple times usually.
Yep.
And then the story just kind of revolves around that.
Yeah. Which I don't even, we can cut this if you don't want to talk about it, but I didn't read the books that True Blood is based off of, but I have a feeling those books are smut books. And see how popular that's gotten?
Yeah.
Whoever wrote the True Blood thing, doing pretty well.
I mean, the big ones hit big, right?
Yeah.
You know?
And so...
According to language models, the profit potential for writing smut is pretty high for even indie writers.
If you want
We're talking
to
like
have a creative field,
$10,000 a month for indie writers. That's what the internet says, anyway.
That's just pretty nuts. And so, if you like writing, why don't you just like try writing some smut novels? There has to be a better word. I think it's called erotica. Maybe
it's called erotica. But I just like calling it smut because it just seems so derogatory.
I don't know where we got the word smut from. Well, I mean, I know where it's from, but I was just like, who said that first? But it must have been you just...
I don't know.
No.
Anyway. I like it better than erotica. I don't even know if smut is the proper word, but it sounds like it is. So,
what do people say when they talk about it around wherever they're talking about it?
Nobody talks about it. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure
romance novels is the most common.
I was gonna say, if we went to Barnes and Nobles, how would we describe it? Because I'm like, what am I gonna tell the worker? Where's your smut novel section?
Show me that smut.
And then I also just don't want to say to someone, have you checked out the latest erotica? I don't like that. Yeah.
Sex sells, though. Yes. Even in written form.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean...
would you do it?
I mean, it would be tough. You know, I would definitely have to have a pen name. But, how do I don't know. I would be like, should I just be writing a normal novel right now?
If I'm spending time writing, shouldn't I just write the things that I like to write?
Like, isn't that what they say art shouldn't be? It's about the money, but that's the only reason I would ever write that stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe. For
$10,000 a month to be a writer, and all you have to do is write something that you're just really into.
It's just like any other thing, though. If you're going to make the money, that kind of money, you've got to make a lot of it. You got to produce a lot of it. Yeah. So that's not just I'm going to fiddle around and write a little bit here and there. It's if you want to make that kind of money, you got to be writing it all the time, probably.
Yeah. But the thing is,
what does that do to your mental? What does that do to your mind?
Sure, but think about what a person might be doing elsewise. Probably in marketing on a product or for a company they don't give two poops about, and doing a ton of work day in and day out for maybe the same amount of paycheck, maybe a little bit less, maybe more. But definitely not doing something they care about if you're a writer that cares about that kind of stuff. So is it better to just write the thrusting?
Oh, jeez. Let's be careful what words we use here. We don't want to get flagged or anything.
Explicit tag on our podcast.
But I mean, I think we seek in general just business opportunities.
I agree.
And this is one that just came across it's not an opportunity. It's just, we joked about it to start.
Yeah, we're thinking about business opportunities, and so in the general research of here's ways that you can make money as an entrepreneur or small business owner, this was one of them. They're GPT in all of its wisdom is well, if you want to go into business for yourself, why don't you write smut novels?
Yeah, it's steamy stuff, but I think it came from we both like to write.
Yes,
you especially.
I mean, you especially as well.
Yeah, and so I think I must have asked something well, I know that the chances of being a successful author are very low, and being profitable is very low.
Yeah.
How do you increase the chances? And it replied with, you got to do steamy novels because they have a way higher success rate because of niche communities and
people get into it.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Amish romance novels?
I think I've heard of that from another podcast mentioning it. I don't know.
So that's a thing. There's niche. Yeah. There's all these niches everywhere. You just got to find one that you can stomach.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or even that you enjoy, perhaps. I think isekai romance novel
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Enjoy. You can write it all you like.
Leave it to me.
You start another channel, we'll promote it. Maybe not on YouTube.
Maybe not on YouTube. Oh, gee.
Anyway, some other business ideas outside of that, though. What have we been talking about? Because we got our game studio.
Yeah, sure, the game studio.
But
But
like,
it's gonna.
we feel like a pull to do even more.
Yeah.
So real estate, that's like the most adult-like one.
It's the one that you hear the most success stories of, which maybe is anecdotal, and we shouldn't base it off of that.
Well,
but it seems like people are doing pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people who have, not a lot of people, like not personally, but like I know a few people here and there that have come through my life that like have had success doing real estate.
Yeah.
It's certainly going to take a lot of work, but like it has a lot of upside.
It would take a ton of work, and I do think there's a very, very healthy amount of risk, but the people in my family who have done the best, I think, for themselves have all done it through real estate.
Oh, so I didn't know that. You haven't really told me about that.
Oh, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
I think I've mentioned it like, oh, my aunt or oh, my cousin does this or did this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, I do think you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just maybe haven't phrased it in
your
the
aunt,
way of,
yeah. No, I remember now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So real estate, that's probably one I'm interested. I mean, we're both interested in it because we watch House Hunters all the time. Love it or list it. We look at houses on Zillow all the time. We even went to go see a house that was listed just to look. And so I think it's something that really interests us. But I'm just nervous about it. I'm nervous about it. And also, I just wouldn't want to do what we see so many episodes of House Hunters talk about doing, which is the house hack of living in one part of your house and then renting out a room of the house or renting out the basement or something like that. Like, I think the closest that I could get to that would be the duplex scenario. Yeah. But this is another thing that I'm like kind of nervous about, that is that like, because real estate is such a popularly known way to make money and invest and like make profit, there's a lot of competition out there. And so things that I think are ethically wrong, like sellers selling houses and waiving inspections, like especially if they know something's wrong. And they're like, you got to waive the inspection, otherwise I'm not going to sell you the house. Like that seems wrong to me. And like we would be deep into that, and like we would have to like interact with that. Like, you told me you're not interested in writing letters to anybody to buy a house, but like that might have to be something that, you know, we got to swallow. But I truly am not interested in doing that. But I know that it might have to be a thing. It's the competition out there because other people want to make money just like we do. Yeah, but which is exactly it. Is that like we would maybe have to do the waive inspection thing because our livelihood depends on a person buying this house with the waived inspection. And that's like a position I don't really want to be in. Yeah. So those are things to consider, right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we've talked about like opening restaurants a ton, but those are. Oh yeah. Those are even profits, riskier though. Yeah. Like, but those like, oh man, I think about though, like going to it just sounds, maybe I'm romanticizing it, but it sounds cozy, like a family diner that we wake up and we go to our family diner and we just like, cook and receive customers. But it's hard work. That's really hard and very small margins and very high risk. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm super interested in that immediately right now. But we talked about stuff like getting a Cricut machine and making like doing patterns custom items. So. We've had a lot of 3D ideas. 3D printer, embroidery machine. We've thought about them. Yeah, a lot of it. We've thought about a lot of it. Yeah, tutoring videos or something. You know, I don't know. But nothing's like sticking out. I like to stay in the creative fields, or at least where I feel like we are now with Vampire Janitor
and the game studio is we're creating something. The hard part is that we don't get to even like, we're so far removed from even thinking about profits that we're really just doing it right now because we love doing it.
We're not moving any products.
Yeah.
We're just basically like,
we're just
like any sort of tech company, right? Like there's a lot of like you watch Silicon Valley, they're all trying to get funding for something that doesn't really exist yet. They're like developing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing, like we're just kind of going off of making a game that we want to make, and we have to hope maybe it makes some sort of money, but
even if it doesn't, what a fun ride.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of new things. And along the process, I want to start learning Blender. I'm very, 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 very interested right now.
Yeah, I'd be happy if you became a Blender expert because, if this studio continues, I want to pivot to a 3D game of some kind.
And we talked about cutscenes,
cinematics.
We can add.
Yeah.
So, it's fun stuff, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, we're really trying to stay even busier, probably. Than what we're doing.
Goodness.
Is this wise? Should we meditate more and work less? No,
it doesn't sound that great to me. Honestly.
I feel like we're at an age where we got to grind.
Yeah,
I feel you're pretty well into your career and you have a lot of success. I haven't even started a career. I feel like I'm super far behind professionally, financially. So I'm thinking I definitely need to pick up the pace or grind a little bit on some stuff,
I think you're just excited to get started in all those things.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as behind. Stephen King, didn't he publish his first book when in his 40s or something? So
yeah, I guess. But I mean, if you're talking mathematically compound interest, the earlier you start, the better off. But I have no investments with compound interest at all.
But
starting at zero, too late.
You can start earlier and do small deposits, or start later and do really big ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a math thing for you.
If you double a penny, however, what was it, 50 times or something? It's over $1 million, and I'm like, why start at a penny? Just double $50 or something. You don't need to start at a penny. That's some wisdom right there. Cut that, put it on your whiteboard.
So what do we have next for Vampire Janitor? For me, I'm working on sound assets.
Yeah.
I did some very fun Foley. Now I'm just mixing, so that's fun.
Yes, and I want to implement those sound assets. I want to finish the animations, the tools for level 1. Yeah, those are probably the main things. And then after that, I will do the UI. I want to update the UI and implement a new font. So those things. Raid buff, I want to focus on making another episode at least semi-consistently. So maybe next week or the following week,
Yeah. There was it was a short time, but there have been times where we've recorded an episode one week, and then the next week we recorded another episode.
Yeah, the weeks just fly by, though.
The days fly by. It's really hard to keep track of things. It's Friday tomorrow. So craziness. I thought it was Monday.
Yeah.
Recently. I thought it was Monday very recently.
But yeah, I think we have pretty clear laid out goals for all that.
Yeah. So let's just see that we can do it.
Let's do it. Go Team Venture.
Go Team Venture. All right.
You can't see it, but we're doing the Team Venture thing. Yeah.
Sorry, in my head now, when I think of Venture Brothers, think of Dean, think of Suzume.
Oh my gosh. That dude has got a wide variety of voice acting gigs.
Good. I'm glad.
Isn't that, like, being a voice actor, there it is. You're all over the place. Persona has, I could have sworn I heard Eren Yeager's voice in there, but I don't know.
Okay, don't know for sure, but
I didn't look it
hear
up.
Raiden's voice.
Raiden.
Either
Like, how random is that? You just got all these gigs.
I, like,
Being a
look
voice
up
actor would
as,
be
like,
dope.
Principal, and I hear Raiden, I'm like, that's not what I expect his voice acting, his character to go with that voice acting. It's hilarious.
Maybe we could start a voice acting firm.
Ooh, a voice.
Well, hey, we'll
acting.
see for Vampire Janitor. We're going to do a little bit.
We're gonna, well, yeah, because if you wanted to add the spoken lines with, like when we're talking about having the vampire bust in and he like talks and blah, 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 you can have that part like voice acted. And you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, it could be kind of like Persona where the main points of the game are voice acted fully and then the other ones are just text. Yeah. So
Which is how WoW is right now also.
Yeah.
I'm constantly skipping parts. They're like, for the quest, they talk and then they give you the next part of the quest. But I've just been skipping because I already did all of it. I already did all of it. Yeah.
You already, okay.
Yeah, I did the whole campaign.
I loved doing the stay a while and listen parts.
Well, no, I don't.
Those are great.
Definitely don't do that. I don't even do the part where they're like, listen to this part for the quest, or like watch someone get sucked into a void and then you also have to go. Like, no, like let's just skip to the end. Go to the void. Let me
get to level 80 again. Yep. That's the replayability there.
Yep.
You just skip it. Skip it. Optimize time. Well, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Good to go.
I'm glad we got to update people on our lives. And hopefully...
If they care now, hopefully they got something out of it.
Hey, if you have listened and you are hearing me now, thank you for sticking with us.
Yes. Jeez. Thanks.
We're back.
We're back.
And we're honored that you listened.
I can't promise that it'll be any better.
I don't even know if this one's any good.
No, this one's any good. Don't know if the past ones are any good. Like, we're just trying to stay alive. I'm just trying to make it through, survive.
Well, thank you so much for listening. This is Tannison.
This is Akea.
We'll see you next time. What's our outro?
We've been saying different things every time. I don't even know if you've been noticing, but I've been saying outros from different podcasts for every podcast that we've done.
Nope.
We just have. I've just listened to so many that that's what I was doing. But now, it's done.
We love you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.